Well, welcome everyone. I'm Darren Saul, your host of Playing with Perspective, the suspended animation podcast. I have a fantastic show and a fantastic guest. She's smiling on the other end. Oksana is back by popular demand. How are you, Oksana?
Good. Thank you, Darren. It's good to be back. Thank you. Thank you for your energy.
My pleasure. Thank you for everything you do. Oksana's been on the show twice before, and her appearances are always incredibly insightful, entertaining, educational. She leaves us with incredible tips and tricks for marketing. And so today we're going to be chatting about the fact, would you rather plant more seeds or water your existing plants? I love it. Oksana is also the queen of language and riddles. So I'm looking forward to unpacking that today. But before we get into it, I'll just give everybody a quick rundown into who Oksana is. Oksana is a brand engagement and customer experience expert, entrepreneur, and author who is passionate about business, human connections, personal growth, and doing things differently. She has a unique ability to creatively identify how to engage her clients and execute new growth opportunities. Her business journey started in Russia, where she developed her holistic and pragmatic approach. Now she uses these skills to help her clients' brands stand out and stay top of mind. As the founder of Impero, she works with clients on brand engagement as well as developing cool and fun ideas using memorable promotional products. She is passionate about products with purpose that are ethically sourced and sustainable. So welcome again, Oksana.
Thank you. Thank you for the lovely introduction.
Thanks for coming on the show again. So Oksana, maybe give us a little bit of a rundown into your background and tell people about what you do for those who haven't listened to your previous episodes.
What I do, I live in Sydney. I've been in marketing for many, many years, and I've been in sales for even longer. My approach to marketing very different from kind of scientific and data-driven approach rather than creative, because a lot of times people think about marketing and they think about the look, the brochure, the art, but I look at it. So what does it bring sales?
Yep.
Or are we going to make money? Are we here for the show or are we here for transformation, right?
Yep.
And both questions are valid and both are okay. But I rather have a sharp marketing that brings sales than beautiful posters that send me broke. But this is again me being very pragmatic and asking maybe uncomfortable questions, right? Because sometimes,
But it's a good point that you raised, because we can all get excited about the look of something, the feel, the journey, the experience.
Yep.
But we're not, we still got to measure all that work we put in. Did it bring any results or not?
Exactly. And it's often, people, everyone, doesn't matter how much money you have, how big is your budget. I certainly think we need to get ROI. Not many companies like, okay, if you're Coca-Cola and you have unlimited budget, and then you can kind of gamble, right? And without actually asking, is it a chance of me winning here? Mm-hmm. Because if I would, from a mathematical point of view, if the chances are so low, why would you gamble, right? It's many other games you can play with a better mathematical formula, and I think this is what strategic marketing is versus just the fluffy marketing.
Yep. But one thing that you're very good at as well, speaking to you over many podcasts and also knowing you, is that you think very laterally. You're very creative in how you think, and you like to go against the grain, do things differently, change the whole cycle around, so tell us a bit more about, your thoughts on that. I think that's really important.
Look, I believe practice makes it perfect. And I started very early because I was growing up in a communist country of gray environment and gray coats and gray shoes and compliance.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I did not like it from very early age. And I guess I sort of, because I practiced so much to go against what everyone's doing and looking at things differently and breaking the rules. And people say, this is how we do it. And you know, like, oh my God, so many things. Communist USSR, they have so many compliances. And I would say, why? And like, nobody asked this question, and nobody liked this question.
Nobody dared to ask it.
Yeah, like why? Like, well, it makes no sense. Why wouldn't the, you know, because, you know, and the answer might be because we always done it.
Yeah.
And same with the marketing, you know, it's ironically, you know, 30 years later, when I go to the people and I said, oh, you know, I'm curious, how's your marketing? Tell me what you've done, tell me blah, 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 and give me the answers. Oh, okay, it's interesting. So why are you doing it this way? And it's fascinating to hear what the answers I get, you know, like why, and the reason is because we always been doing it.
Yep. You hear that a lot. You hear that a lot in many different aspects of life, but that's the first sign where you should think, hold on, maybe there's another way, maybe there's a better way. Why should we always do what we've always done?
Or if you, and I said, okay, I understand that, it still does not answer my question. And then the next question is, are you getting the results that you're hoping for?
Yep.
And if this is the answer, and if the answer is yes, then it's a winning formula. But a lot of time it's not. So I say, you come into me, you want my expertise and you want my brilliant ideas.
Yep.
You cannot, so then do not expect that I'm going to give you the same thing that you've been doing for 20 years, right? Because then go with the same people that giving you that.
Exactly. Yep. Very good point.
We're talking, obviously, it's not working, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is where it's come from. You know, one of my friends in US said, you know, people always teach think outside the box. She said, with you don't even have the box, right? I guess, I just, you know, if somebody give me the no, I'll just say, listen, can I talk to someone else? They say, why? I said, because you're not giving me the answer that I need.
Oh my God, I love it.
And yeah, I guess I was lucky enough. I think it's also, you know, if we look back in our talents and, you know, what comes easy to us, you know, I was always a communicator. This is my talent. I have no fear. I'll talk to anyone, regardless of, you know, if it's a president or if it's a plumber. I meet them on the human level.
Yes.
And when we do that, and I don't know, I just don't have this, you know, what fear? The fear they don't like me, I'm okay with that. The fear I look silly, it's good. And I think it's a difference between childish and childlike, right? So childish is not so good for adult, but I think Darren, you definitely have it, to have this childlike attitude, right? I just think so many businesses, they're just so boring and so adult and so mature that it's like I just think, oh my God, guys, why are you doing it this way? You know, it can be fun. It can be, you know, podcast interview can be brilliant and engaging and fun and educational and all of this. You know, it doesn't need to be the boring business show about numbers and how do we really report to our shareholders about our last year financial. You know, no.
Oh God, no.
God knows.
And actually, really good point. I think Picasso said you should have the curiosity of a child. Like to be a good artist, you have to continue to be childlike and not forget that,
And Steve Jobs, right? Stay foolish, stay hungry.
Yep.
Stay foolish. What does it mean? It means that, get the elephant out, declare we're not perfect. We're doing, we're not so good at marketing, but we're trying our best. But we sure will take care of you, right?
That's right.
People would love it. It's and
100%.
it's funny, like with my accent, I always make like it's such an interesting, like it's psychology to see where I give myself permission to laugh at myself, and it's make people like it means that I give you permission to do the same. It's a different energy, and it drops this barrier of I don't know, unrealistic expectation or disappointment.
And it creates trust and creates bonding and relationships. Absolutely.
And this is what business is. The purpose, I always say, the purpose in business is not to make sale. The purpose in business is to create the customer, because creating the customer, it's even I can actually take it to the notch up, saying create the customer that brings you more customers. Imagine that. Right?
My God, we've only been speaking for 5 minutes and you've already dropped an incredible bomb. Like that, to me, that is just brilliant,
How do we
Oksana.
do that? Yeah.
So important. I want to repeat that again. I think that's such an important point you made. The point of business is not to just sell a product or get a result. It's to create a customer and then create relationships that will drive referrals and more business. That is so profound. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's different energy, right? Because then we operate in a not desperate energy of making a sale. Definitely. We feel so valuable that we will do extra, and we will do the right things, because we know it's not just, this.
It's not just a transaction. It's not a transaction.
Exactly. With transaction, we don't need, just go buy it on buy it online, and we don't need anything. You don't need to know me. I don't need to know you. If tomorrow I'm there, Seth Godin talks about it. Would they miss you if you're gone tomorrow?
Yep.
This is a different task. Like,
it's a different conversation. Absolutely.
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 How do we fall in love with our customers and let them to fall in love with us? So this is a game that I think worth playing.
Yeah. And that's what I like about marketing as well, is it is a game. It's a game. It's fun. I call marketing a game for adults.
Love it.
That's what I love about marketing, because it's just very strategic, and you never know. You got to try, you fail, you test. It's all just a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of time in the game, it's the attitude needs to be this, childlike, right?
Yep.
You're not attached to the outcome. You look at the people who in this game differently, not like in real life. They're all competition or whatever they are. We're all here to get to get a prize, and if we just bring a little bit of that, like you're saying, attitude to business, what a fantastic space to be, and experiment, not be so sure, and look how things are changing,
That's right. And they do fast.
Yeah. So we can't just keep assuming that what we did 6 months ago, it's the right thing to do. We need to check in the temperature, like you go to the doctor. If you go every week, guess what? Every week he will take your temperature and he will do the blood pressure.
Yep.
They're not going to go, oh, you came 6 months ago, let me just,
That's right.
record that. No, not valid.
That's right.
So this is why communication and knowing your customers, like 6 months ago, we were delivering to, marketing managers and customer offices. In the beginning it was offices, then it moved to delivering to home. So we had actually home addresses and mobile numbers.
Yep.
And it was like case 6 months ago. Now people going back to the office, we cannot assume that we can still communicate via text messages because environment change. We need to go in and say, Darren, can I just check in with you if you still prefer us to call you your mobile or text you, or you prefer us to use the office number now?
Correct. Yep. So true. Look how fast things are moving in the last 6 to 12 months, and that's a perfect point. You have to continue to rethink your marketing strategy and your communication strategy.
Yep. Every I don't know, 90 days, whatever the cycle. Like I'm all about the systems, because systems gives you discipline, gives you freedom, right?
Yeah, I love that. So true. Oh my God, you're on fire, Oksana.
I sent you the bullet points at the end so we can share, right?
Love it. Discipline creates freedom. That's so true. I'm a big believer of exactly that as well. I think when you have a good system.
A lot of people look at the discipline as a, oh my God, or or the structure.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's going to restrict me. It's not. It's going to give you freedom. Stop thinking about when are you going to do it.
Exactly. It frees up all those uncertainties, and it's there, and then you have other bandwidth to do other things and get more creative.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally agree. So let's get into the topic for today. I know this is a fantastic introduction and I've really learned so much, but today we want to chat about, would you rather plant more seeds or water your existing plants? And we've kind of touched on that a bit, in that a lot of the time we tend to always be chasing, I suppose you could call it the shiny object syndrome. We're always chasing the next best client, the next best idea, something else, instead of actually just thinking about what we're good at, where our business is coming from, and strengthening those existing relationships. So why is it that we continue to always be looking at, why do you think that is?
I think noise and pressure from marketers, right?
Good point.
And like you look, everyone talk about top of the funnel.
Yeah.
Every activity. And if you think visually, top of the funnel, it's like whole world, right? Or whole, how many 100,000 people need to go through that. And then,
right.
And everyone tried to sell you this, this. And I'm like, no, this is exhausting.
Absolutely.
It's like talking to strangers.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. You're always like, I say, in terms of energetically, I want to talk to people like when we're meeting now, right? We're not meeting in the basement.
That's right.
Right? So we're meeting, if we're in the elevator, we're meeting on level 10, and every time we meet, we're going to the penthouse. This is the goal. This is my goal, because I want to have a better view. Yep. I want to have a better vibration. I don't want to be in the basement.
So true.
And the basement conversation, this is where you have a small talk, where you have to start again. When you're already on the ride, if you already have a relationship, if there is a customer, you know what? You can step up and they forgive you.
That's right.
Right?
Very good point. Yep.
You have inertia, you have physics helping you. You don't have inertia with the people you know.
That's right. You've got to start from zero every time. It's hard work. It's exhausting.
It's energetically exhausting. And let's go back to mathematics, because numbers don't lie. It does cost 5 to 6 times more to bring the new customer than keeping an existing one.
100%.
We're not talking 20%, 30%, 100%. We're talking 5 to 6 times more.
Yep.
500%.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of, and so it's like people say, don't throw the baby with the water, with the bath water. And we do forget that, right? We forget where where we are today because of our history, because of our activities. The first thing I look and ask people, what's working? Because something is working.
That's right.
So if something already working, just more of that. And give the room for, look, I'm not saying do not, I love experimenting, but in the right proportion,
Yes.
Back to 80-20 rules.
Yep.
keep the 80% of your activities that you work in, magnify them. You say, wow, this guy is a great referral. So, and this is why I give example, because it's, people can relate to that. I give you the garden, right? Not garden, I give you the land. Oh my God. And I'm telling you, because I spend a lot of time in the farm. It's a lot of hard work.
Oh,
A lot
yeah.
of hard work to prepare the land, to prepare the seed, to prepare the flowers. And you know, you have to, the timing, the temperature, so many,
Yep. You have to
so
have
many
patience, the
aspects.
time.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
exactly. You can't go plant the seed and then next day you go digging saying, how are you going? Why you're not coming up?
Yeah.
And this is top of the funnel activities. You're planting, you don't know what's actually gonna stay in, you know, what's gonna bloom. You don't know. You just sort of, you're doing the activities in hope, not in hope, with a calculated sort of choice.
That's right.
That if you plant this many will die and this many will bloom. But then when you've done that, the only thing you need to do is to water. And then if you actually become an excellent gardener and you have too many plants or it's too big, you can automate your watering, right? You can bring the specialist, and this is where all this, you know, expert of CRM like Tim Hyde and other come, because they can show you the way that you can automate the watering. But a lot of us, we probably don't even need this high cost automation and, you know, solar panels and, you know, sophisticated system. But we certainly need some water, and we certainly need a system, because cactus need different amount of water than the apple tree.
That's right.
Right. And so, and also it's seasonal, right? You have a orchid, it looks like it's dead for 6 months of the year. It's not dead, it's just sleeping.
That's right. Everything has its own cycle.
Yeah. So you need to be in same with your customers. You need to be aware. Don't, you know, these people having events for the next 3 months. Don't annoy them with your special offers on the fax machine or whatever you're selling.
Spam. Yep.
Yeah, because you know this is not a good timing, right? Everyone willing to talk to us when it's the right time, and right time is not up to us. Right time is up to them.
That's right.
You know, and this is why I'm saying. And then with the marketing, what is your formula? People ask me, but how much water? You know, like, you don't want to give too much water, you kill the plant. Well, it's also, you know,
you don't want to drown the plants.
Exactly, right? You said, oh, you know, and then you said, oh, stupid plants, nothing happened. No, nothing wrong with the plants. You just didn't know how to. And some people do have a talent for, you know, they call them what, the green fingers, because they can take the plant that died and make it someone. Another person, you give them a beautiful plant, and, you know, 6 months later they kill it. They just can't. They just don't have the talent.
Yeah.
But if you have the right system, so my formula is 5 to 10% of your, if this customer is 10K value to you in business, and you're the only one that would know this, you would say, okay, I need to, if this plant costs you 10K, you need to spend between 5 to 10% to water it. This is your water budget.
Your nourishment, your nourishing budget, your nurturing budget.
Yeah, this is your nurture. This should be, because if not, this plant will die. Yep. And then you need to pay someone to remove it, to dig in, then wait, maybe
buy a new one, more time, more energy.
So yeah, so if you look at it from this perspective, suddenly people go, yeah, it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
But if we look at our customers, and again, you have to make a list. You know, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Not all customers are equal, right? So it's your job to separate them to economy, business class, and first class category, and water them accordingly.
I love it. Yep. So true. And I think you also mentioned, or you touched on this as well, which is one of my passions, is I love mixing, when it comes to systems, I love mixing computer or automated systems with intuition. I think it's very important to have systems that are computer generated, but don't only trust those. You have to have your own intuition, and human systems can be very powerful as well.
Absolutely. And it has to be a mix.
Yep.
I think this is where you can't automate everything, because
Right.
only you would know, what's this customer like, and,
Yep.
and you can be sophisticated and use the disc models. Depend if you're talking to that. What language do you use when you talk to the D person or I person? But yeah, automation is powerful, absolutely. And with everything in marketing, it has to be the marketing mix, but not to use automation. It's also I don't think it's a smart way to be, because it's just too much. So how do you manage all of that? And the systems, I call it, and I like 90-day planning, because it's with the nature, with the universe, with the intuition of the planet.
Yes.
And the energy changes with what are we doing in summer, what are we doing in spring, how are we going
cycles.
So we need to be in tune with that, and use this time to be prepared for, like farmers, they sometimes it's look from outsiders, they're not doing anything, but they are doing something. And sometimes maybe this
sometimes patience is the most important ingredient.
Absolutely.
And I think that even when it comes to results, I think a combination of analytics and intuition is also important, because sometimes you can not give things enough time, and if you would have just left it for one more week or one more month, everything would have taken off. But you have to kind of feel that a little bit.
Exactly. Sometimes I say, if you procrastinate long enough, the urgency disappears.
Yeah. I love it. So true.
Interesting. And with the systems, I call it, you don't need to declare everything, but everyone have our own system. I call one of my things is, I call it planned randomness, right?
Planned randomness. I love that. That's cool.
Yeah, because it's all strategic. I know that, in the next 90 days, I need to collect, 10 pieces of new information.
Yep.
And for the person that I'm, getting the information from, it's very like random. I just ask you, I don't know, what's your favorite color? Oh, by the way, are you sweet or savory person? Oh, red and white, because you can't guess this answer. You can't use your intuition to guess, are they drinkers or not? Are they vegetarian or not, right?
That's right.
So you have to ask the questions. And for them, it's random, but then when you take these pieces of information and use it in your marketing, it's become gold. And for them, it's so like random, but we strategically planned it all.
That's right. That's right.
And we planted.
And it makes it's engaging, it's fun, it's interesting at the time, but it's also very rewarding later on when they see what you've done with that information.
Yeah. We don't need much. Like, it's so funny when people talk about budgets and this and this. I'm like, I don't know. People spend $2,000 on Facebook advertising and getting no leads, right?
Yeah.
And take the same $2,000 and go water your existing garden, and you will guarantee the bloom, right?
Absolutely. Wow. So true. Yep.
Why don't you do it? But it's a gamble, and but it's a lot of, I think it's a lot of pressure that people think, they must do all of these activities because they've been told this is social media is
Yeah.
the
You have to do your
is
marketing. You
the
have to do your this.
solution.
Yeah.
You know, and then you say, okay, analyze how many. If you have 500 clients, how many? Where did they come from? If they came from social marketing, absolutely, should do more social marketing. But I know that every single person that our customers, and it's been like this for 20 years, it was networking or introduction or referral or us delivering amazing, the best marketing is just deliver amazing service.
Yep, great. And I agree. I think that, I love social media and I love marketing, but I think that the noisier it gets, and it'll only get noisier and noisier, that we almost move back to old school, and referrals and good service you cannot beat.
Yeah, and I think Seth Godin talks about this when he gives you $5 and send you on the street with the task, go to sell this $5 for $2, right? It's a bargain. But nobody gives you $2, right? Because they think this is too good to be true. You're a stranger.
Yeah.
This is must be some sort of
what's the catch?
catch. It's unnatural, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But if you go and put $5 in the mail, to your neighbor, and you do it for the next, I don't know, 5 weeks, with just not, helps you this week. And then on the week 7, you go and say, I was the person who did that. Yep. Imagine the reaction, imagine how much you will get back.
So true. Yep. Absolutely.
Fascinating, yeah.
It is. And we could talk about this forever. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. But I want to get a little bit more tactical with you as well, because a lot of people will be wanting some great ideas and tips and tricks, which you have so many of. So I thought maybe you can give us some insights into what are some great ways to really nurture our clients, really water the plants, and make sure that we strengthen those relationships. Any good ideas coming up to the end of the year?
Yes, very good ideas. I got a few. I'm doing. It's always, everyone loves their own name, and everyone love, with the gifts. So often we do it about us. How often you see, we're doing corporate gifts. What is it? We're giving umbrellas with our logo, right?
Yeah, instead of our own branding all the time. That's right.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm doing these beautiful tags.
Oh, I like it.
And I'm putting initials, right, of people.
Brilliant.
So for me, with the clever marketing, it's never expensive. All of the ideas, and the reason I'm doing it, because when I started, I literally did not have any marketing budget. So I needed to make sure that every dollar I spend gives me ROI.
Right.
So like with my tape measures that I did for COVID, I probably sold, I don't know.
Brilliant.
Everyone loved the idea, and people keep it. So finding the practical solution. I love direct mail for several reasons, not because I'm in the product business. This is your brand in someone's hands every day, right? So if they keep it, and the key is to find what would get into their hands, right?
Yes.
Because
so they are key rings, yes? Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, like
they're
a
key
tag,
rings. Yep.
key tag, right?
Yep.
Again, you can put your phone number in case you lose the key, so that people can actually contact you. It does have the initials, so it's personal. So direct mail, 100% opening rate. If I send you the box, 100% of people will open it.
100%, for sure, I would.
Yeah, you did, right?
I did.
Every single person, they do, right? Okay, email, if you get 23, 27 now, some good one, maybe 30, depends on your industry and size of the database. A lot of people getting only 11%. So if you compare 11 to 100, it's 10 times more.
Absolutely.
very cost effective, because when we talk about cost per impression, if I know you love note taking and you always taking notes and you creative, if I give you the notebook, beautiful notebook, it has to be beautiful. Like I would never suggest, if you have a small budget, find the best product in the category.
Perfect. Yeah.
In your budget. For
Quality
example, if you have $20, for $20 you buy maybe average wine, but you can buy amazing notebook.
Yep,
right?
you can.
So go spend $20 on amazing notebook. Don't give cheap umbrellas, because they already got 50 of them.
That's right. And sticky
I want to give
notepads.
a most expensive umbrella.
Yep.
So they're going to chuck all the cheap ones out, and they keep my expensive one for the next 5 years.
Love it.
So even if I spend $100, it will cost me on average. They call it cost per impression, right? So how much it's costing me every time Darren's seeing the thing, right?
Sure.
And on average, it's between 3 to 5 cents, right?
Wow.
We pay $5 for coffee. So if you not spend $5 every week on clients, I don't know, maybe.
And the other thing that I just come to mind, when you have a physical product or a merchandising product, and you have your cost per impression, you also get incredible referral opportunities from that, because you don't get that when it's electric or an electronic. But if someone has a great umbrella or a great keyring or a great, tag, whatever, everyone will say, where did you get that? Who gave you that? And then the whole conversation starts, and that can build awareness for your brand.
And imagine if I come to you and I say, give me 10 of your best clients, and then you do this with your clients' initials.
Yep.
And you give it to people, and you say to them, if you have a referral for me, tell me who they are, and you give them as the tools, like my nail filers. When I meet the prospect, I said, listen, can I just give you, some of my nail filers, because they lie and they're not expensive for me. If you meet someone that needs my service, can you please give it to them, right?
Brilliant.
And it's make the person looks good.
That's right.
Right? It doesn't cost them anything, because it's on my expense. And it's a funny, it's a law of people feel, people feel that if you did something good, they would love to pass on the goodness.
That's
Majority of people are like that, right?
It's the law of reciprocity.
Yeah, and it works, right? And you just, and you don't. A lot of people think, oh, it has to be something, these amazing rewards. No, it needs to be it's so little required. Like literally, it's not a lot of water. It's
So true.
It's
because these days we're also starved of any of those intentions, that even the smallest intention goes a long way.
Oh, I get it all. And it's also interesting. The moment you start doing it, and this is what I love, so many people took my sort of philosophies and ideas, but it's all ideas. It's like Gary Vee says, like ideas is like push-ups, right? Everyone know that they should be doing them. But the best ideas is the one that you implement. And I can tell you how many people who never done it because they didn't have a system, or they thought it's expensive, or, when I help them with implementation and they saw the results, it's actually so addictive, because you want to do more of that.
That's right. And you realize how simple it is and how cost effective.
Yeah. Before that, they thought, oh, we need this big budget and we need to do this. I said, you don't. You just need to, show the love and care every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You decide. But you can't just, and providing a good service, yes, but it's given. It's given. These people
true.
go to the restaurant or photographer. This is what they pay you for. They pay you for you delivering the good, exceptional service. But my question is, how are we going to make it unforgettable?
I love it. Yep.
You know,
You have to go
even
the
memorable. I
extra
used to say
mile.
memorable, but I think actually
Unforgettable.
unforgettable. And then right away I have the song in my head,
I love it.
right?
So true. Yep. I mean that because that's where it's like in the old days as well. We used another great sales trainer that I've studied. His name is Jeffrey Gittimer, and he used to say, customer satisfaction is not good enough anymore. Everybody's satisfied, but loyalty, that's, are you loyal? So this takes that to the whole next level. Are you unforgettable?
Unforgettable. Yeah. And loyalty, we cannot expect the loyalty. Like we cannot expect not water the plant and expect them to flourish.
That's right.
All right. We need to be the one that do things in the manner that create loyalty. This is our job, like our job. And I wrote it in one of my posts where you sell your house with the real estate and the transaction happened and they disappeared. And then 3 years later, you saw your neighbor selling the house and you thought they got a good price and you decide to sell the house and you go with this agent.
Yep. So true.
And then your real estate agent saying, why didn't you call me?
Yeah, you disappear.
And then you go, I forgot about you.
That's right.
To be unforgettable, for our customer not forget us, it's not the customer job. It's our job.
Our job. Absolutely.
To be remembered. And it's not because you did something 10 years ago, you hope that they're going to come back to you with
that's what branding is all. That's what branding is all about. When you think of, a nice soft drink in the desert, you think Coca-Cola. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. When you think about vacuum cleaner.
Yep.
When you think about running shoes.
Yep. When you think about a car.
It's only one, right?
There's only one.
Yeah.
That's what branding's all about. So you have to have a brand that's that strong, top of mind, that people always know you're there.
Yeah, exactly. And
they tell everybody else as well.
Yeah, and I wrote, I did a post on this last week, the difference between marketing and branding, right? And what's first. And it says marketing is like asking someone on a date.
Yep.
And branding is the reason why they say yes.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Very nice. Fantastic. Have you got any other great little things that you're working on this Christmas? You've showed us the nail files. You've showed us the key rings.
Yes, I'm working with a fantastic brand called Herpes, and we're doing the beautiful spices. Oh. And it's a summer box, summer spices, right? With the recipes, with ideas that you can, it's Christmas is a family time, so you can cook and enjoy. And again, it's multi-sense marketing, so you can actually, do it with your family and fun activities. It's I like to do things very different. It doesn't need to be, boring corporate things. It can be fun and engaging and things that they can share with the family. We did have a few tough months and, a lot of outdoor stuff, activities, picnics, picnic rugs, different sort of outdoor activities, add some chocolates, add some, I don't know, the cookies, anything that can sort of bring a little bit of joy. But another thing, like I used to be in campus 20 years ago, I think the beauty of the product, because it's like a fresh flowers versus the plant, right?
Yeah.
The fresh flowers are beautiful, nice gesture. People appreciate it. Box of cherries, fantastic. You finish box of cherries and it doesn't have a lasting, like this is all inertia, right?
That's right. And this can
How
be
we can
last
do as little as
for a long time.
possible, right?
Yep.
Leverage. So, and it is a formula for leverage. But again, it's, make sure it's represent your brand, make sure it's actually connects and relevant to your clients. We do a lot of different candles. We do beautiful diffusers for the car because then it's Australian made beautiful product.
Wow.
And I have whole book of ideas. If somebody interested look at very practical ideas that, and I put idea and I give what sort of message you can use, how you can deliver it. And it's actually very exciting. It's just got published on Amazon last week.
Yes, I was just about to get to that. Fantastic. So you've got a new book on Amazon.
Yes. And I was working with this, I put all ideas together. We had originally 23 ideas, and then Georgie said, let's do 23 plus 5 extra. So it's make it 27. So literally any business, any marketing sort of campaign, you can use it, direct mail. It's practical, it's cost effective, and I give you all the process. I even share my 6-step methodology, purpose, before product. So before you actually choose what's right, maybe consider answer these 6 questions, because it helps you to clarify and help you to, remove yourself from the process, because it's never about us. And so that if it's been a great feedback for the book so far. So I would love to give it to your listeners. I can happy to share the link, or you can share them.
Definitely. I'll make sure I put that link in the show notes for everybody, and you can buy that at the moment very, very cost effectively on Amazon in many different forms. Yes.
Yes. It says Kindle, but I download it on PC, and it's fine.
Awesome. Oh, fantastic. And how long did it take you to write that book?
I think it was sort of, ideas always coming, but it's like with the systems, you need someone to help you to document it. So I think it's probably some of them ideas that I used many years ago, some of them fresh.
Great.
Maybe I would say maybe 12 months altogether, putting it all together. Yeah.
And where do your ideas come from?
Ideas
do they just come from, they just come into your head, or where do you come up with all these ideas?
I don't know. They just who said that, don't he said, they can steal my ideas, but they cannot steal my brain.
I love it.
I think I think again, back to Seth Godin, to our favorite marketer, right?
Yep.
Both of us big fan of Seth.
Definitely.
He says, so what do you do for living? And he says, I notice things.
Right? I like it.
And this is, I guess, they say in Amazon, if we go to Amazon forest, the locals can survive there because they follow the ants, the trucks.
That's right.
And we, Westerners, we cannot see that, right? How come we're in the same space? They see it, we don't.
Because our eyes aren't open, that's why.
Their eyes are trained to see the path of the ant. Yep. It's like in Russia, we used to go mushroom picking. Sure. And I took some friends mushroom picking here in Australia. And like we got the buckets and, baskets, and we went on a mushroom picking journey. And then we meet like 2 hours later.
You had 3 buckets and they had half a bucket.
Yeah. And they said, where did you get all these mushrooms from? I said, we're in the same forest, right? Because they don't, they don't see. And I think it's like the creativity is just a muscle.
100%.
The more, like you as a photographer, the more you see that, you take a picture, then you see, oh, I thought it's going to be good, good setup, and then you look at it and it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And then you experiment and you try this color and you try morning and you try afternoon and you go, I see. Then because you start noticing and this is why I love yoga, right? It's like this everyday practice, or meditation, they train us to notice. You suddenly notice the weather.
That's right.
You notice the wind.
It's
Like when you go on
mindfulness.
the
It's being
boat.
mindful.
Yes, and it's so changing. You might, you go on the boat. If you're sailor, you notice the wind change and the speed change, and then it's no wind, and you cannot go anywhere if you don't have a
100%.
motor.
100%.
So I think this practice, and we talk about it there, and that you listen to podcasts all the time, you read the books, you look at the ideas, you see, and when you do that, I do it all the time.
Yep.
Forget about 10,000 hours become an expert. I probably got 50,000 hours because I do it all the time.
100%. You have to have a relationship with it. And if you can
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
to quote a very good friend of mine, if you have a relationship with it, then it becomes part of you, and then it's second nature. It's more than second nature.
Yeah. And then like people say to me, who did I talk to yesterday? And they said to me, this lady, she was in America, and she said something, and she talks about integrity was her value, right? Number one value. And because I think in product and pictures, right? I think
Visual.
if I were to draw it to the person who could not speak any language, how would I explain integrity, right?
Yes.
And then also, if I would a product, what product would I pick to explain integrity?
Yeah.
And because I've been practicing for 20 years, the answers come to me so fast.
Yeah.
I said to her, if you would ever give your clients, after they sign up with you, the thing, the gift, this gift is compass. And she was just silent for a few seconds. She goes, I actually got it somewhere in my value, brand value document that, like your true north, your compass, because this is what integrity is.
Yep.
You cannot say, oh, can we just move a bit and make north be over there? We can't.
So true.
And so this is where I did. I think that comes from my head, but it comes from surrounding and looking different cultures and asking
being curious.
Curious.
That's important.
Yeah. I wonder, it's like chemistry, you experiment.
Right.
You can never be sure what will come out. So you will be, shipping the creative work, as Seth Godin say.
That's right. Yep, it's a great book, by the way. That's his latest book. Yes, what's it called? Ship Creative Work.
The practice.
Or the practice. It's a fantastic.
Fantastic.
Book by Seth Godin.
Yeah, last time I think was This Is Marketing just come out, and he's amazing.
Yep.
And this is what marketing. You have to look at it like this. Is why back to what you said, Darren. It's all about, if you look at it as a game, and then you become better the more you play, right?
100%.
And you have to be willing to experiment, and not all the time you win, but the more you play, the better you become.
The more you play, the more you win.
Yeah, exactly.
Mathematical
chances, right?
Right. Yep.
Exactly.
So
same with marketing, I guess. You just have to go back to the customers and, do the prototype. I always suggest, a lot of time, we don't need to do the product.
Yeah.
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 And this is where a lot of mistakes as well, that people spend so much, they come up with the idea, they don't do enough, design thinking approach. Let us ask the customer, would they like it? Would it solve the problem? Would it work? Would the price be right? Would the packaging be right? They just go and make it. And then they say nobody's behind it.
And that's a really good point. We forget to actually ask for feedback and ask, for what's the word? Statistics, and ask for information about what we're going to do. Ask our customers for information before we go do something.
Yeah. And even with my tags, I strategically, I asked them, 6 months ago, if you choose from 3 combination, black with red, black with gold, or silver with, which one would you choose? And they said, one guy said, oh, gold with black. So his tag is gold with black.
Great.
And another people, not gold with black, and some got navy with silver. Does it mean that doesn't matter what I like? Not really. It's not tagged for me. It's tagged for them, right?
Yeah, 100%. So obviously you've got your spreadsheet or your notepad, and as soon as you hear that, you write it down, record that information, and then you know what to do.
Absolutely. And and you build the file, right? You go from, this is the 3 things I know about my customer, and then now it's 33 or 13. But get curious and ask them. I said, every time I want to talk to you, learn something new. What is it? Something that I don't know about it, but it's always.
I'm glad you're not working for the NSA or God forbid, you know everything.
Yes. It's a good space. Yeah, people, and it's funny, like even I got one of my posts, I talk about make someone else the hero. And I say, if you have your customer who have children, imagine if you find out the children's birthday and you send a gift,
Very true.
This is like nobody does it. How amazing. And of course, people with children, everyone loves their own children, and they will talk about the children. They will tell you, oh, Superman is the hero, or I don't know, Thomas the engine. And imagine if you facilitate this magic for your customer child.
That's just gold. And then the law of reciprocity kicks in, because they almost feel so guilty that you remembered that and you brought them a gift.
Wow,
they have to do something with you.
Yeah. And the child will say, like, I was meeting someone and this person tried to explain to her child who she is meeting and what I do. And she said, this is, she does, and the child is like 8. And they say, she does marketing. And so what's marketing? She said, like marketing is like you love me and we share the love, right? So and then this child went and make a love heart for the mom. And the child said, Mom, now I'm going to do marketing to you. And they give the love heart to her on the necklace.
Nice.
And I'm like, wow.
Brilliant.
But, it's like we all live in someone's story. And this is what unforgettable marketing is.
Yep.
Right?
Unforgettable marketing. I love it. So, Oksana, you've always given us so much value. Thank you so much for today. We could go on forever. But, you've always extremely entertaining, insightful, great ideas, incredibly creative, very smart in the way you think about marketing, the philosophy of marketing, and the psychology of marketing. So how can we find you if we want to work with you?
You can't find me. I'm a secret agent.
You'll find us.
You find us. Yeah, don't call me. We'll call you.
Don't call me, we'll call you.
Yes, no, with marketing, I always say you can't sell the secret, right?
That's right.
So get out.
That's right.
Find me anywhere. Find me on LinkedIn. Find me on Instagram. It's Impero. My company name is Impero. So it's Impero by Oksana. Find me on my website. Send me the email. It's oksana@impero.com.au. or just ask Darren and he will send you my way, I guess.
Definitely. I'll put all those details in the show notes, as well as the link to Oksana's new book, which is perfectly in time for Christmas ideas. So definitely download that, because you'll get some great ideas to use in your Christmas shopping for your clients and for your family and friends. And Impero, where did you come up with a name for Impero?
Impero, it's a
Empire.
empire. You got it. Yes, and it means to be the leader, to command, to building. Like, what do you think empire? Roman Empire, right?
I love it.
And I love it too. When I had a choice between 3 different names, it was back in 2003,
Yeah.
and when I saw Impero and I got the meaning, I'm like, I like that, because I wanted the name that kind of like Sony, when people didn't know what I do. I didn't want to be like Toys R Us,
Yeah,
because it's
that's
limits
right.
you
Yeah.
with the toys only.
You want it to be like Nike, like what's that? Yeah.
I want to be like Uber. What is it?
Yeah,
Google.
what is it?
I don't know. What is it? We make it up. We're marketers, right?
Right, or Apple, absolutely. Yep.
Apple. Why Apple? I don't know. Why not?
Why not? Yeah. And that's actually a really good point. Finishing off the discussion is that branding is all about what you make it. It doesn't have to explain anything. You can turn anything into whatever you want. It's just how you market and brand it.
Absolutely.
There's no rules. Beautiful. Well, Oksana, thank you so much for coming on the show again. We love it. Everybody, please check out Oksana's previous episodes, which are some of the most downloaded episodes in my whole reservoir of episode history, because Oksana so much, she gives so much value. But we always like to.
The marketer.
And she's a good marketer. But I always like to give everybody the last word for the podcast. So, Oksana, I'm going to give you the last word. What would you like to leave us with just before the end of the year?
Be brave.
Like
try things, try new things, and enjoy the
be
process.
brave, be curious, have fun, be a child again. I love it.
Yep.
So true. So true. Well, everybody, there you have it. Episode 175 with Oksana. We'll be back very, very soon for another episode of Playing with Perspective. So bye for now.